call the meeting to order. And we have the invocation by Commissioner Mishaw.
Dear God, I want to thank you for this day, for this community, and for the dedicated people of this board who so generously give their time and talents to serve this great city. Peter 4, verse 10 and 11 instruct each of you should use whatever gift you have received to serve others as faithful stewards of God's grace in our various forms. I pray that God grants us the strength, wisdom, and discernment to make decisions that are pleasing to Him and align with His purpose for our lives. And with all we have going on in the world, I just want to ask that we can all come together with all the craziness we have going on in the world. Amen.
Amen.
Commissioner Mashall?
Here.
Commissioner Thorne?
Here.
Commissioner Art? Here. Commissioner Max?
Here.
Commissioner Jordan?
Here.
Commissioner Hawkins?
Here.
Commissioner Steen?
Here.
Commissioner News?
Did everyone had opportunity to review the minutes?
Yes.
So is there a motion to approve the minutes?
Second. Commissioner Thorne?
Aye.
Commissioner Jordan?
Abstain.
Commissioner Art?
Aye.
Commissioner Max?
Aye.
Commissioner Mashall?
Aye.
Commissioner Steen?
Aye. All right, the first item is PL 1967, request for a variance to allow an accessory building within the allowable setback at 1139 Terra Drive. The subject property is located on the west side of Terra Drive, north of Fawn Lane, represented by Morgan Booth, the owner. Mr. Cadoz, will you provide the planning staff's report and comments?
Yes, sir. This is PL 1963. The request is for an encroachment variance into the side setback at 1139 Terra Drive on the west side of Terra, north of Fawn. Morgan Booth is here tonight representing this application. This is an accessory structure, and the requirements of which are that it's less than 50% of the square footage of the home, at least 5 foot from the side property line, and 10 foot from the rear. And so the structure does meet all of that except for the side setback, which is proposed to be 2.5 feet versus the required 5. We did discover this after a complaint was received, and the structure was erected without a permit, so we issued a stop work order, and it's triggered the process of why we're here tonight. I will read this for the record. Of all approval or denial criteria should be based upon the following. The special conditions and circumstances that exist are peculiar to the land, structures, or buildings involved and are not generally applicable to other lands, structures, or buildings in the same district. Thorough enforcement of the provisions of these standards would deprive the applicant of rights commonly enjoyed by other properties within the same district under the terms of this ordinance. That the special conditions and circumstances do not result from the actions of the applicant and are not based upon economic considerations, and that granting the variance would not confer on the applicant any special privilege otherwise denied by this ordinance to other lands, structures, or buildings in the same district. If approved, we do request that there's a condition that the applicant complete the building permit process, and if approved or denied, there's a 10-day appeal period after this, which would be heard by the Board of Aldermen at a public hearing date, which we would publish in the paper. I did provide proposed motions to approve, deny, or table. And in your staff report, there's some generic renderings of the site plan we received, the rendering, and then we did include a picture after a site visit that shows the visual from the street, along with an aerial map. Morgan Booth's here tonight representing this application, and I'm available if you've got any questions.
Anybody have any questions for Mr. Cadoz?
Said it was reported that someone, I guess, complained about it.
Yes, sir.
Are they here, or?
I don't know. It was an anonymous complaint.
Okay. Okay. I just wanted to, I was just curious.
Any other question, Mr. Cadoz? Would the applicant please come forward and state your name and address in its entirety?
Hey, y'all, I'm Morgan Booth, 1139 Terra Drive.
Like to share?
You got any questions?
So, when you started the building, you didn't realize that you needed to get a
It's my first house. Yeah.
When did the building go up?
Late February, maybe?
Okay.
only ask because I could throw a stone and it'd just about hit your house, and I don't have a great arm.
Okay.
And I drive by there every day, and I have never noticed this building until it came across our email, so.
Yeah, I don't know why it would hurt anybody, but I just store all my lawn equipment in it. So
Is it a metal building?
It is.
Is it anchored to the ground? I'm just curious.
I believe so, yeah, it's on concrete slab.
Is that one of those prefab,
Yes.
like shed kind of
Yeah.
things, right, for
Yeah.
garden equipment and that kind
Yeah,
of, okay.
Is that building material, is that not an issue?
Not in residential. Unless there's a covenant, we don't have a design requirement in the residential zone.
I think we need to revisit that. I wouldn't want a metal building in the backyard next to me. I think that's something to think about.
Any other questions for the applicant?
all right.
Anyone in support or against this item, please come forward and state your name and address in its entirety.
Hello, I'm Herschel Croft. I live at 86 Fawn Lane in Deer Creek. I've bought the home brand new and lived there 25 years. I actually have 3 objections to this building. Number one, we live in Hernando. There's statutes, codes, permits, rules, regulations. You just don't get up one day and say, I'm gonna build a garage and I'm gonna run me a driveway out there. So this garage is built so close to my house, my fence, I can stand on the ground, touch the building. Number two, when the people were constructing the building, there's not enough room between the building and my fence to assemble it. So they were actually standing on my 6-foot wooden fence to get up there to complete the constructions. That's number one. Number two, there's a gravel driveway up to it, and white gravel. It's extending all the way over to my fence and touching it and coming under my fence. Number three is my wife is gravely ill. Our bedroom is, master bedroom, where she spends 80% of her time, is 25 foot from the fence line. I'm concerned because there is a business being run out of this residential house, that there'll be a diesel truck and equipment backing down this 100-foot section next to my fence every morning and every evening. And it could damage my fence, and also there's a noise problem. That's basically all I got to say. I object on those 3 concerns.
Any questions? Saying the building is just right on your fence almost.
I can stand on my property, touch the building.
Yeah, it shows it's 2.5 feet from fence line.
And that's what the request is for
Variance, yeah.
how much is it supposed to be?
It's supposed to be at least 5.
5 feet, so we're
Or
3
5 feet?
Yes, sir.
3
I was
feet.
kind of concerned about the height too. It's very tall. 15, 20 foot tall. I don't know how tall it is.
Just to put it out there, you have a camper parked in your backyard.
That's correct, yes,
Which would
ma'am.
have the same rules, right?
I went through the planning committee when I built the driveway in 2009. I submitted a plan, they approved it.
Okay, and they did
I have a
approve it?
90-foot concrete driveway, and the motorhome has not been used in 3 years. Hadn't been moved.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a new, what's the ordinance on that? Is it over 20 feet's got to be behind the fence, right?
Or 20 foot, if it's visible from the public right of way, over 20 foot, you're not supposed to have it. And I don't know about this one particularly.
Yeah, I mean, I drove by the site. I mean, I noticed what Commissioner Arthmet noticed was the motorhome. Noticed, several other structures in the area on the same street or the street behind that appear from, like I say, they're very close also.
Does this neighborhood not have an HOA or covenants?
No, sir.
Can we go back to a comment? I wasn't aware, this is used for commercial business? This
He
building?
operates his lawn service out of the house.
Is that a,
No, I mean, no commercial traffic would be allowed. And you mentioned a gravel driveway too. I've not seen that.
That must be behind the fence.
Okay.
Is that the gravel you're referring to?
I
that's
was
behind the
told
fence?
there wouldn't be a driveway put there, and then the next week, there's 40 foot of gravel back there.
Oh.
But it does, the portion now is behind the fence. But from the fence to the street is mud.
Yeah, I can see that in the picture, yeah.
As a matter of fact, he tore up part of my property, the construction crew did, he did. My side, when they were assembling that thing.
Looks like there's a pool in the backyard, so I don't know if that plays a factor into the setting of it. Aerial. Are you able to pull the aerial, Austin?
Yes, sir. Well,
sketch shows a retaining wall and a pool.
I've got it showing on my computer, but it's not
Yeah,
there.
there's a retaining wall right here. This is a retaining wall there, so it sits.
I think it's on your screen, Nestor.
You see the-
I don't know.
This line right there. I think what he's talking about, there's gravel right here,
I'm showing the aerial on mine.
leaking under his fence. 2.5 feet up against that fence. Yeah, this building here,
Because I had the agenda pulled up.
but that's 5 feet.
Oh, the laptop's thinking you've got two.
Well, it appears to be 5 feet, I can that look like? This building.
That's so weird. I just had the agenda pulled up.
Yeah, your mouse just weird. You drag it, see if you can drag it over.
There we go.
It's bizarre.
It won't let you drag the top over?
Now I can't see my mouse.
Because it's on.
He looks like he might can help.
Yeah, come on, please. All right,
A T.
got it. Okay. Well, now I can't see from my computer, so I have to do it from here.
11:39.
The lines aren't perfect, but it appears the fence line is probably the correct boundary line.
According to,
So the
Looks like
slab,
the slab right there.
this is a very, very new aerial. This is from February of this year, so that slab's roughly where the building is.
it is, that appears,
A question for the applicant, is it, can I ask that now?
I mean, that's an 8-foot.
How far from the building is it to that retaining wall?
So the building is 14 foot wide, and I have a 16 foot, I'm sorry, a 6 foot lean-to. So towards the pool is the 6 foot lean-to.
And then,
So it's probably 7 feet.
okay. I mean, from the lean-to to the retaining wall, how far is that? A foot, okay. That was the thing that made you push it so close? Gotcha.
Got anything else for me?
Looking at this photo, looking at the gate, this is a lawn care business, but that's not a drive. Is that gonna drive trucks and back trailers up in over that curb and into the yard and all that?
No, I mean, it
You
can't
can
be
come
used as a
back up if
drive.
you want.
So I just put the gravel there so I wouldn't have to mud. It's not a driveway, nobody's driving on it. I got concrete extended on the other side to that. So it's not a driveway. I wouldn't consider it a driveway.
That's where I'm confused. So gravel is coming from the fence out to the street?
No. It's coming from the fence to the shed.
Like they laid a layer of gravel before they did construction.
The picture we have is an accurate picture, right? How long?
It's like from February of this year. So that
this is
slab
from
must have been brand new when it was
Yeah.
poured.
You don't have any plans to try to put a driveway in or anything?
No, I was just gonna, I got a gate there, I just pull my equipment through there. No trucks or trailers or anything like that.
I don't guess it was possible for it to be on the driveway side?
Too skinny, and it's a lot steeper on that side.
Figured topography or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you shift those parcel lines down to that fence line, it looks like that driveway is almost touching on the north side.
Mm-hmm. Yep, it's probably on the property line.
So what's in front of us is a 2.5-foot variance. 5 foot.
Yes, sir.
So there's no height restriction on this one, variance?
There is, but this one's under the height requirement.
Any other questions?
What happens in a, just curious, hypothetical denial of this variance? It goes up against an appeal?
So,
This is a variance, so if it, then, does that mean for,
so your decision tonight is final unless appealed to the Board of Aldermen, and that's that 10-day window that they have
Right.
to approve or deny. They can appeal either decision, or anyone can. And within that 10 days, it'd be sent to the Board of Aldermen on appeal. If it's not appealed, then it's final and they'd have to move it.
that's where I was getting, they'd have to move it or take it down?
Yes, sir.
How tall is that retaining wall? I'm just trying to figure out if topography is a special condition or circumstance to the land.
5 foot, probably 4. Comes up to about right here on me, where the shop's at.
So the pool deck is like 4 feet lower than the slab of the garage, or other way around?
Say that again?
So the pool deck is lower than the slab of the garage, is that what it is? Or is it other way
Talking about
around?
the retaining wall?
Yeah, like the retaining wall's here and
It's level with it,
with the pool deck.
with the concrete, with the garage.
And then where's the pool deck in relation? Okay, down like 4 feet.
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
Other questions? All right, is there a motion to approve, deny, or table this item?
I'll make a motion to approve the variance request by Morgan Booth, the owner, to allow a 2.5, or 2.5-foot encroachment into the side setback of the accessory structure based on conditions below. The subject property is located at 1139 Terra Drive, located on the west side of Terra Drive, north of Fawn Lane, conditions A through D.
Second.
Commissioner Thorn,
Aye.
Commissioner Jordan,
Nay.
Commissioner Art,
Aye.
Commissioner Max,
Aye.
Commissioner Mashal,
Aye.
Commissioner Skeen.
Aye.
Motion to approve this item passes. And like Mr. Cardoza said, it's 10 days to appeal to the board, and the mayor and board of aldermen, if somebody wants to appeal it. All right. Our next item is PL 1964, request for a conditional use permit for a liquor store at 1500 Highway 51. The subject property is located on the south side of North Parkway, east of Highway 51. Mr. Gill, representing the owner of the property. Mr. Cardoza, please provide the planning staff report and comments.
Yes, sir. This is PL 1964, a request for a conditional use permit to operate a liquor store at 1500 Highway 51 South on the east side of Highway 51 south of North Parkway. Mr. Gill's here tonight with a representative representing this application. The proposed tenant bay is located on the north side of an existing convenience store, and so if you're familiar with the North Parkway store, there's a sign up for a vape store that was, I don't know what happened, but it never opened, and that's the proposed tenant bay this is wanting to locate in. Kind of how we got here tonight is in the C2 uses, our zoning ordinance has long since required liquor store have a conditional use. About 5 or 6 years ago, the Alcohol Beverage Commission enacted a state law where they were the sole authority on granting permits for new liquor stores. And so they were the controlling authority on the location. And so the city's jurisdiction was no longer. About a year ago, that law changed back to where cities do have the authority to regulate land use. And so in the meantime, our zoning ordinance didn't change. So it went from active to inactive to back to being active. And so we received a request from the applicant to operate a liquor store in the C2 district at this location, and that's what's triggered this conditional use here tonight. We do have a local ordinance that also controls the distances from school, churches, daycares, and funeral homes. And that distance is 400 feet from building to building. If the properties are zoned commercial or business, that distance goes down to 100. In this case, both of those distances are met. No matter what you think, there used to be a church across the street, Crossroads Church in Renita Bay on the west side of Highway 51. They've since moved, and so they're no longer at that location, and there's no other school, church, daycare, funeral home within that vicinity. So by them meeting that, that's what's triggered the conditional use for the last step of the use being approved by the Planning Commission. I'll read this for the discussion portion of the staff report, explain how this proposed use will not substantially increase traffic hazards or congestion, how this proposed use will not substantially increase fire hazards, how the proposed use will not adversely affect the character of the neighborhood, the proposed use will not adversely affect the general welfare of the city, how this proposed use will not overtax public utilities or community facilities, and how this proposed use does conform with the recommendations of the city's general development plan. The applicant did respond to each of those, and that's listed in your staff report. And then similar to the last application, your decision tonight for a conditional use approval or denial is final unless appealed within the 10 days, and that would be heard by the Board of Aldermen once we publish that as a public hearing. Did include proposed motions to approve, deny, or table in your staff report, and I included a zoning map, a vicinity map, and an aerial that gives you an idea of where this proposal is requesting to go. The applicant's here tonight, and I'm available if you've got any questions.
Any questions, Mr. Cardoza? Would the applicant please come forward and state your name and address in its entirety?
Good evening, gentlemen and ladies. My name is Hernando. I live in Olive Branch, and I'm representing my cousin, Dhavinder Gill, who is out in England for vacation. So, yeah, so we work together, and he will be the one who is trying to open a liquor store there, and we get to know that that property is under a conditional use, and for that we are here. So we inspected the area, we moved around the area, and we checked all the compliances. We talked with the ABC, and the lady over there, Miss Paulette, she told us that it's city who will approve or deny the opening of a liquor store there. From ABC side, we are good. So it's up to the board. But there is no church or school. We inspected that thing, as Mr. Austin said, like there is nothing over there. But if there is any question else, we can answer that question, sir.
Any questions for the applicant?
Did you want to use your PowerPoint?
If they want to see.
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, it won't hurt.
Yes, sir.
We'll look at it.
This is the address where the liquor store will be. And this is the area, the street, North Parkway Street. It has two exits toward the North Parkway Street and one towards the Highway 51, which gives us ample space to traffic to let in and go out smoothly. It's already a gas station, a convenience store where people are coming in and out, so there is no traffic. The traffic can flow smoothly over there. So there will be no problem with the traffic. Then next question was to fire hazards and liquor stores. They are generally operating in all the cities, all the areas, and we have all the materials packed in the bottles and the boxes. So there will be very less chances of any fire hazards over there. But still, we will comply with all the city rules, all the county rules. Fire extinguishers will be there, and whatever the city wants us to do there, we will put over there. Then it was next question, any adverse effect on the neighborhood character? Liquor to be handled very responsibility, and we are aware of this thing. This location is very compatible with the surrounding, and we always maintain the professional standards. The person we will be hiring for the job, they will be well aware of the rules. We will not sell liquor to any intoxicated person. IDs will be checked. It will be sold to anyone who is older than 21. So all the rules will be taken consideration into. And the positive impact will be, we will be adding some exchequer to the state and the city. And again, we have adequate light there. It's already a running convenience store and a gas station there, so it's ample light. The area is lit. We have cameras in the liquor store and the whole property, so it is well inspected. Then water, sewer, liquor stores, they generally, we just use the restroom. Like one or two people will be working at one time over there. They will use restroom and the drinking water will be in the bottle, that's it. So it's minimal use of water or sewer in that property. Waste and runoff, mostly the boxes. People, they ask for the boxes when they move or they have something to put. We have seen this thing. They generally go to the liquor stores and ask for the strong boxes. We generally give away the boxes and only break the boxes which are very weak. So they will go into the dumpsters and it will be easily handled. And electrical damage, it will again comply all the city rules, and it's a new building, so there will be no chance of thing, though we can't predict, but still, we will comply with all the rules and take care of everything in good faith. And again, it will comply with the city's economic plan. Not much, but at least it will create few jobs. We will hire people who will work over there. Then zoning is, that's why we are here. We are ready to abide all the rules and the regulations of the city. And last thing is the orderly use. So we will again, we have read all the objectives of the city, and I hope it will comply with the city rules. That's it, sir.
How many liquor stores are there on 51 already?
We have two more, but that is towards South Haven side when you drive past Nesbit. And we have one on the Highway 51, which is very close to the county office. I don't know what the intersection is. It's called Cheers Liquor, but that is very close to the city. So we are like at a good distance from other liquor stores which we have on 51.
Those are
You
liquor
own other
stores that
liquor
you own?
stores?
Not yet, sir.
Well, you said we have
Yeah, we used to own that, but we sold it now.
I think the ABC only allows, was it 1 or 2 liquor stores max?
On one name?
Yes.
No, right now, we don't have any liquor store, so we spoke with, in ABC with Ms. Follett, and she said, you are good to go. But she knows that we had business, we closed it, we surrendered the license, and now we can apply for another license. So it will be only in one name. I'm saying we because my cousin and me, and we will be working together.
But you mentioned the liquor stores north of town. There's liquor stores south of there on 51, isn't there?
Yeah, we have more.
Cheers is the next one.
Yeah, that's the closest one we have, that is closest to the city area. And this has ample neighborhood at the backside of this property, and they must be driving towards city, and which will increase the traffic in the city, I think. So we can hold them and cater them there if we get chance.
There's another one at Oak Grove at 51 too.
There's 5 within 2 miles.
Yeah.
Is there still one right there off the square? Just
Yeah.
north of this, yeah.
Cheers.
No, the
Oh,
Southern
that's
Times
Cheers.
building.
Okay.
Next
I didn't
to
know
nursery.
there
Several
was-
times.
Cheers.
That's only 3 on 51, I think. Or 2.
Yeah, my biggest thing, like
3
say,
deep.
is it gonna increase fire hazards? No. Is it gonna increase utilities, community facilities? No. Will it adversely affect character of the neighborhood? I do think so.
Yeah.
With it being, I know it's a commercial zone property, but you can pull the map, there's a lot of residential houses directly across the street from the entrance of this on North Parkway. Kid could throw a baseball into the parking lot. So that's my biggest concern. is adversely affecting the neighborhood.
So unlike bars, sir, we don't sell liquor there, people can't consume there. Again, this is the state law, they can't consume it there. They will buy in the sealed bottles and take them home, and then they will drink.
Well, the other side of that argument is the convenience store sells beer. Just alcohol in general. Same neighbor could walk across the street and buy. It's just whether a liquor
I
store
just
in general.
classify, yeah, my opinion, liquor and beer is two different things,
No, totally get it, but I'm just looking at a different argument that the question is whether or not the city of Hernando wants a liquor store that far north. Right in that neighborhood. Which I
At
tend
least
to agree with you on number 3.
That's the statement.
That does adversely affect the character of the neighborhood because of its being so close to residential. I mean, you're just talking a couple hundred feet.
The surveys I've done in Shelby County, I think you can't be within 200 feet of residential, which I know that's not what that's a
Even
comparable.
those 3 houses right there on North Parkway. Directly across from that interchange. Can you zoom in on that some, Austin? Can you zoom in on that some?
Yes, sir.
Austin, has the new general plan is it in effect?
It is. It doesn't specifically address this use
I know, but
particularly, but
the
I mean.
survey was pretty specific on the direction that the residents wanted the city to go
Yes, sir.
into.
Any other questions for the applicant?
I will say I would rather a liquor store be there than a vape store, just throwing that out there.
Still got the other side.
It's a conditional use too, though, I think now, right?
It will be. It's one of the proposals. Actually, our next thing on the agenda is the ordinance discussion.
Okay.
It's working that direction.
What's the reverse, because we talked about Crossroads Church being across the street, moved out. If conditional use is approved for a liquor store and this church is looking to go back into a location like that, is there a reverse effect of that? Because now
So the way cannabis works is the church has the option to do that. I don't know how that works with alcohol. I will say that even with if a church was to move across the street, it would be over the allowable distance because both those properties are zoned commercial, and that shortens the distance to 100 feet building to building, and that building's like almost 300 feet away.
because they would be renting from.
Yes, sir. And church is allowable in every zoning district. That's why it's worded like that. Right. Now, our cannabis ordinance does go property to property. The ABC says building to building.
Do you know how many liquor stores we have in the city? I tried looking it up. It's not.
I think it's 5, sir. 3 are on the other side of 51 and 55.
I think it's 6.
There are
Why
6
was
in
6?
Hernando, 7 if you include Cabin Fever right there at the Nesbit exit.
And that-
5 of those are within 2 miles of this proposed.
Okay.
Any other questions for the applicant? Thank you.
Welcome, sir.
Anyone in support or against this item, please come forward.
Thank you.
Hi. My name's Brett Burns. First time doing this, so please excuse my nervousness.
Address?
Oh, my address, 1485 Hernando Point Cove. I live North Parkway, then DeSoto, like right over in that area, near the gas station. A lot of what y'all said is correct, between Oak Grove and, what we say, North Parkway. There's 2 liquor stores currently operating. There's 4 gas stations that serve alcohol, so 6 opportunities for some sort of alcohol within a 2-mile stretch down Highway 51. What else was I going to say? Sorry, y'all. Hernando actually has the highest number of operating liquor stores per 10,000 population against Horn Lake and South Haven. South Haven actually has 3 times the number of residents and the lowest number of operating liquor stores in its city. So about 1.9 per 10,000, whereas Hernando, I think, was about 2.6, and Horn Lake falling right behind Hernando. I was like, oh, I had a little, I don't know if I have time to read this.
You do?
Okay. Hernando already supports multiple liquor stores within a relatively small population base, while also sitting within minutes of significantly larger retail markets like South Haven and Horn Lake, where additional supply already exists. There's no clear evidence of unmet demand, only clear evidence of accessible and sufficient supply. Approving another store would not create new economic growth. It would dilute an already saturated market and introduce unnecessary risks to existing businesses. Also, repeated approval of the same types of business begin to shape how our community is perceived. Hernando has worked to maintain a balanced, community-focused identity distinct from larger commercial corridors nearby. Overconcentration in any one category, especially alcohol retail, risks undermining the identity and sending the wrong signal about our long-term vision. That's why I think it should be denied. That's all I got.
Thank you.
Oh. Oh, sorry.
No.
Huh?
I got a question. I thought you already answered.
Name and address.
Ricky Braggs, calling about the 1451 Crossroad Church. I own the building. It is vacant at the time, but there's been 5 churches in there for 15 years. Probably be a church again. I just want to be sure we're okay to do that. That's my only concern.
Mhm.
I think Austin, surprisingly, it does meet it. Yeah. I was surprised to hear that. But, yeah, they built a big, they started out, they only held like 170 people. So once they outgrow it, they move somewhere else. Then there'll be another startup. But I have no problem with it. I just want to be able, it didn't interfere with my rental property.
Then you say if a church does decide to go back into that building, their choice, knowing that
They could, yes, sir, they're outside the distance. If it's approved, with
because
them
it's
both.
100 feet, because it's commercial.
Yes, sir, that's right.
So as long as the church is with it, it's good.
Yeah, yes, sir, you're good.
Okay. So I thought you already answered my question, I just want to be sure. That's all. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Now, the questions, comments, conversation? All right, is there a motion to approve, deny, or table this item?
I make a motion to deny the application by Mr. Gill, representing the owner of the property, for a conditional use to operate a liquor store at 1500 Highway 51 South, based upon the following findings.
Second.
Commissioner Thorn?
Aye.
Commissioner Jordan?
Aye.
Commissioner Ard?
Aye.
Commissioner Max?
Aye.
Commissioner Mashal?
Aye.
Commissioner Skeen?
Aye.
The motion to deny this item passes. You have 10 days to appeal to the Mayor and Board of Aldermen, and then they'll hear it, and then they'll make the decision. Our next item is ordinance discussion.
Yes, sir. So I wanted to provide a brief update on our last meeting's direction, and then what you guys asked me to come back with tonight. And so we've been working concurrently with the ordinance committee and you guys to kind of bounce ideas back and forth. And so all the definitions you guys proposed to amend and create, the changes, the small changes to the sign ordinance, and then the strengthening of the design regulations seem to be well supported. So the ordinance committee gave the go-ahead to bring that to the full board next Tuesday. So that's going to be on the agenda for next Tuesday. And then what we talked about at the last meeting, and to bring back some more regulations, a smaller item is we briefly discussed neon signage within a window. And so at the last meeting, I explained we don't have a current prohibition as long as it's not blinking or flashing. But the general direction from the Planning Commission was to bring back something that kind of brought that in line. So what we've proposed is add a maximum allowable of neon signage is 2.5 square foot inside of a window pane for commercial business, and to keep the current regulation of 20% window coverage within the window. So like paintings, stickers, that's still 20%, but it can't be internally illuminated like a neon sign for more than 2.5 square feet. The idea of which is that allows for an open sign, or if there's some sort of branding for their restaurant, they can have a smaller sign, but just one. So we brought that to the ordinance committee, and they thought that was something we should bring back to you for consideration. And then the larger item would be data centers. And so we don't have one on the books or even looking or proposed to come, but the ordinance committee thought it'd be good to get ahead of it, because right now our zoning ordinance doesn't address it at all. And so in your packet, you've got 2 draft ordinances that I found that I thought were very comprehensive and kind of helped me learn about the process as a whole, and kind of took a few things from it. One would be that we need to create multiple definitions, one for large versus a small scale data center, and then all the accessory uses about the utility substations, the accessory buildings, the on-site storage. All of those are things that we just don't have in the zoning ordinance at all. And so I proposed several definitions to create those. The recommendation from the committee was to simply put these in conditional uses in the M1 and M2 districts and kind of see how it plays out. I did include other items that other cities have included in their ordinances that we kind of talked about last meeting, about separation requirements from places of assembly like a school or church, and then residential zoning, noise limitations based on where those residential and places of assembly are, and then ongoing required studies. There's some cities that every 5 years you have to recommission a water utility study that proves that you're still doing what you do, and it ties that to a conditional use. And then the water impact study would be a system-wide study rather than just a tower study, where kind of a long-term look at what your water system's going to be with the use of the water in these systems. So it is a lot of information. I kind of learned a lot just what other cities have done. And so I've got the 2 draft ordinances here, and the recommendation from the committee was to, at this point, just add the definitions to the zoning ordinance and put them in a conditional use of M1 and M2, which is our heavy and light industrial, which would give us protection and a layer of screening for if one was to pop up, and then kind of vet out the other stuff as we learn, because these things are so new and it seems to be evolving every time I check back on something. So I'm here to discuss just openly so we can take a recommendation back to the committee and to the board. And I wanted to give you kind of an update of how our last meeting's discussions went. So just like to open up the floor of what you guys think.
Do we know if any other cities within the county already have, like, something similar written out? I mean, obviously, South Haven didn't, but are we kind of the first to go ahead and put this, like, in official writing? Okay.
Yeah, and so I was on a web call with Mississippi APA last week, and planners in the state are kind of in this weird in-between right now where, I mean, just to be frank, politically, on the state level, these are supported for economic development pretty heavily.
Right.
And so I do understand the heavy environmental impact of these, so I need to protect our folks. And so that's why I think we definitely need definitions, because right now we have nothing. I would recommend a conditional use process at minimum, just to provide a layer of review, give people an opportunity to say what they want to say, so it's not by right. And then I think some additional layers would be helpful just for a baseline. And that way we'd balance, of course, if there's the right spot in Hernando that we could all agree on, that would change our economy, I think we'd all agree on that. But I think our jobs are to protect our citizens and the environmental part of Hernando. So the balance is what I'm treading lightly on, but I do think we need to get the definitions adopted at a minimum.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I like it being in M1, M2, and conditional use.
I agree.
Yeah.
Like you mentioned, every 5-year study or whatever, make sure they're doing what they say they're doing.
How does that work every 5 years? Like, what if they're not?
That's the complicating thing. I mean, these companies may not come because something could change. But I mean, I think that is a protection for the city. If something does change, we need to know. So that's the catch-22.
Well, I agree that as many layers of protection we can put into the ordinance, because the scenario that a data center might come to Hernando, the probability is probably high. Be 2 years, it might be 3, it might be next month, we don't know. But getting caught on our heels, if that were to happen, at least what you're proposing covers all the bases, M1, conditional use. And then, is there any other thing you're thinking about in terms of, aside from the economic, I mean, not the environmental economic side of it?
I think M1, M2 by conditional use gives us the opportunity to include a lot of these other things that cities have done, like the ongoing impact studies, the noise berms. A lot of cities are doing berms to physically contain the noise. I think conditional use would help us catch a lot of that. The 2 draft ordinances I've given you are huge. And what these cities have done have codified those rules. So if they come, these centers have to do all those things before they even ask for a conditional use. I don't know.
What does South Haven have? Because I'm hearing now that South Haven, now that they're going on and building without the water recycling, like they're just going forward and just saying, hey, we'll do the water recycling later on.
Yeah, I don't think South Haven had a definition for something like this scale. I think most cities don't. I think we're just trying to get ahead of it, just to.
Austin, I saw in the last sentence under data center accessory use, that use shall not include energy generation systems used or intended to be used to supply power to the data center during normal operations. What did you have in mind there? Are you trying to exclude any existing facilities? Because I think that's one of the big issues in South Haven as well that they've had, is the energy generation has made a lot of noise.
He's talking about the generators.
That's right, the turbines.
Yeah.
The temporary power before they built the electrical substation, like in Memphis, the loud, like odor-producing big turbines.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't want to exclude additional energy generation systems from it. I don't think we need to exclude that. We need to be able to monitor that. And I think that's something that, I just hate to exclude that from the definition.
We can strike it, yeah, absolutely. I mean, and that is like a stock definition. I didn't write it.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, instead of fully taking that part out, maybe we could change it to like, energy generation systems have to comply with a certain noise level or allowable noise level. Just reword it like that.
We can do that.
That way they
That's
still have
fine.
them, but we can,
and we have a current noise ordinance we can
Right.
reference.
I just think you have to, the energy generation, I think, can be as much of an issue as the actual center.
So right now you have to not allow it? To not allow any, is that what?
Right now, it's.
Yeah, that's the way the definition's written.
No, it's,
Okay.
right now it allows it. It allows, there's nothing prohibiting an energy generation system. It says used or intended to be used to supply the power to the data center during normal operations. The last sentence of data center accessory use.
Okay, maybe it should be limited to a certain amount. Because I know from my understanding in South Haven is there's supposed to be a certain amount, but they got like triple the allowed amount or something like that.
I really
That's true.
misunderstood what
And
you
that's
said
my,
then.
and I think he's saying too, the turbines that are temporary
Yeah.
are part of it, but.
So I think I misunderstood what you said. So you want to discourage that use?
Well, I mean, I want to be able to control it. I don't say discourage it, but we need to make sure it's something that's going to comply with our noise ordinance, like you said, and other requirements. I just don't want to consider, wholesale that it's not something we need to take into account when we're looking at this.
I see. So you could just add at the end, unless in compliance with local noise ordinance and state environmental, like MDEQ is the one that really controls most of that stuff. That's the big appeal in South Haven right now.
right.
You should not include energy generation.
And I got a bunch of stuff.
Contingent upon, yeah, you could say contingent upon compliance with all other regulations.
Yeah, I think
Including noise, that comply with all other any noise and ordinances of the city of Hernando.
I don't know if this is the section to add what I'm about to ask. It says maybe require the use of renewable energy such as solar or something like that to lessen the demand on the, because I've been kind of researching it and I know that was in there somewhere to kind of require them to use.
That adds another layer of solar. Is there a solar ordinance?
I do get the incentive you're trying to put in there, though. Like you're saying,
Disincentivize using the local grid, incentivize using.
Yeah, renewable energy.
And that's something we could, in the conditional use process that y'all could ask for is like proof that they're doing that to not adversely affect the
I think that might
local
be a good way to
utilities.
put it in, upon a showing that there will be no adverse impact upon existing utility infrastructure.
Because from my understanding, that's the biggest, other than the noise ordinance and the pollution, what most people have a problem with is their electricity bill going up because of the demand on the system. And with utilities already going up, that would be another load on the system to raise our electricity bill.
And I think if, like, when we use the conditional use questions, number 5 is how you have to explain how the proposed use will not overtax public utilities or community facilities. So that puts the burden back on them where they have to prove how that doesn't. Now,
So is that the same as what we talked about before, prohibit the use of water and it requires a closed loop system? Because remember, that was like one of my first questions was having them require a closed loop system so they're not using our water either.
and so that's, I think, maybe from a policy point, what the committee was saying is to not adopt a robust ordinance that has all of those, 50 things just because is it something we can actually handle? Or should we just say right now, conditional use M1, M2, create the definitions, and then as we learn more, kind of develop the ordinance just to, right now, try to adopt some sort of protection, because right now, we don't have anything.
Does that conditional use allow us, if we do get an applicant to say, hey, you must provide us with a environmental impact analysis?
You can
Give
put
us
conditions on the
key.
conditional use.
Okay.
I think this is going to be something that's ever evolving over the next several years.
There'll be
Learn
some
more
other,
about-
something we don't foresee right now.
Yeah, I mean, we don't know everything there is to know about. Nobody does.
Well, I agree not to do codified
Rapids has
rules
had a-
and stuff like that, because that
Yeah, I
deters
know that. I've heard they've.
potential data centers who might want to come. See a bunch of hurdles they have to jump somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
So we want to invite it, but we want to
Monitor.
control it.
Definitely need some protections, because right now we have none. And I do think we need something to show that it's in industrial zones, here's where these fit, and it's got to be a conditional use. You can't just come in and pull a permit. They do have to come in front of you. I think that's pretty important.
I like it.
Learning, and some education on our part would be nice too, if we could have somebody come in and give us some.
So there's a study, one of the professors at Southern Miss is going to start a webinar series this summer about this. He's got a degree in something from MIT, and he's very familiar with how these things, he's also a planner. And so once I get those webinar series, I'll be happy to share, and we can all join.
They're going to come to Mississippi.
Is there any other-
They're already coming, but, I mean, it's.
Are there any
It's not
other
gonna stop.
planning municipalities comparable to Hernando? Have already had a center that we out to that? What have they learned?
Cedar Rapids has been in the news about the issues that they've had.
That's a big
And that's
city,
what-
though.
That's why, it is, but they, I think, they're trying to slow down and obviously govern what they've got.
Mount Pleasant, Wisconsin, I have a friend that lives there, and Google just built one pretty close to his house. And it was kind of like South Haven, where they were behind the gun a little bit with when they came in. And they're straight lining, I don't want to misquote it, but a huge pipe straight to Lake Michigan. It's like 8 or 9 miles away, and they're straight piping water back and forth and recycling it back in. So it's, I mean, I do think there's an ongoing impact. I don't think we understand it yet. I just don't.
Marion, Arkansas, I know they've done, but they may not have.
Middle Mississippi, Brandon, or somewhere outside of Jackson has one. So I'll be happy to reach out to those folks. I think the webinar series from Southern Miss will be pretty interesting, because it's going to be a national case study. But I do think proposing to the board to get these definitions in place will be pretty, just for a level of protection.
Yeah, I'm all for that.
Immediate future.
Yeah, I wholeheartedly, just something, looking at it now is the move.
Correct.
Have you talked to Whitney at all? I'm sure you probably had conversations with her.
It's ever evolving, because, you all seen the hearings. There's packed houses with these MDEQ hearings, which probably never had a single person ever come to them for an environmental permit. And the noise has been a big concern. And then there's the political aspect of this state legislature proposing a bill to cap the property tax the city could actually collect, which I think that would really change it for everybody if that passes. And so it didn't pass, but if that comes back every year, if you have a data center and it's floating your entire city budget, basically, and then the state law changes and the state captures 80% of that revenue all of a sudden, and then you're stuck with it. So that is a real consideration to have. Is it worth the risk?
Do we have to make a motion on this?
If y'all would, just a motion for on the summary page, the neon signage, and then to increase, or to insert the definitions and put it by conditional use in M1, M2. I'll take that to the board.
Motion?
Make a motion to accept the neon signage and data center ordinance recommendations as written.
That'll work.
Change the air gas balloons too? So, but is that the one because it was difficult to police?
That's exactly it, yep. So, the gas, that's still going to the board. They're still not okay, except for on Saturdays and Sundays, just to give some folks some allowances, and we don't have code to enforce it on Saturdays and Sundays. Did you miss the last meeting? Oh, so that was one change. The sidewalk signs, they just exist, and they don't really bother anybody, so we just propose to strike it. That's like the sandwich board signs you see outside of a A-frame that they write chalk on. We propose a definition for vapes stores, and then we propose to put that in the commercial districts by conditional use. The ordinance committee has recommended to switch all the cannabis stuff from by right to conditional use. And that's all of them. So that's transportation, dispensary, all the things. The design regs, we propose some changes to strengthen the requirement for brick, hardy plank, or stone, and reduce EFS and split face CMU. So EFS is like that smooth stucco.
I felt like we talked about that one time before, yeah.
Okay, well, that's going through it. Basically, if you build something new, EFS or stucco or split face CMU is less than 10%. Is
I
what
think
it's.
we need to talk about the metal buildings. Y'all approved it, but I voted nay, but I would be livid if somebody threw up a metal building right behind my house. Just like that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a,
I can bring it to the committee and ask. I'm sure there's legalities with residential versus commercial on design regs without a covenant, and I'm not familiar enough with that to talk on it.
I think you can do, as long as there's alternative structures, alternative options to build it, I think.
I'll check, and we'll bring it back.
All right, any other comments? Is there a motion to adjourn? Second?
We need to.
Do we need a vote on this? Wait, we need to do that. We got a motion already on the table that Commissioner Art has out there. We need a second on that.
I'll second.
Commissioner Thorne?
Aye.
Commissioner Jordan?
Aye.
Commissioner Orange?
Aye.
Commissioner Max?
Aye.
Commissioner Mashall?
Aye.
Commissioner
guessed it.
Skeen?
Aye.
Passes. Now is there a motion to adjourn?